This podcast is presented by Independent Health. What does the red shirt treatment really mean? It means getting answers, getting access to care when you need, and getting more ways to stay active. At Independent Health, we're all about your health. See how at redshirttreatment.com. Welcome into another episode of Bill's Pod Squad presented by Independent Health, Maddy, Glab, and my co-host, Kim Pegula, Bill's owner and president, here today to bring you a new podcast. This one is kind of about some health habits. We're going to get into what our healthy habits are. We're going to hear from one of our players who is probably way more healthy than the both of us because he has to live a healthy lifestyle every single day. And you can definitely see that in what he looks like and how he plays on the field. So there's no better time to do like a healthy episode, I think, than right before New Year's, when everybody has their New Year's resolutions. You know, you want to get back to the gym, you want to, shed some pounds, do whatever, just live a healthier lifestyle. So we thought, why not do an episode with Independent Health?
No, it's definitely on my list every single year. My kids always make fun of me when I say it. I was like, hey, this year I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to lose, the last 10 pounds or whatever. And they're like, Mom, you say that every year. And I keep telling them, like, listen, at least I keep trying, right? Yeah. Like if I stop trying, then there should be some concern. But every year I say the same resolutions. I don't, I usually get through, a few of them, maybe a month or so. But, then I know I have another year that comes up every year and I can make new ones. So yeah, this is a perfect time.
You got a great attitude about it. But before we get into our healthy habits, I wanted to ask you just to recap the huge win over the Patriots from your perspective. I mean, this was a must-win game if the Buffalo Bills wanted to keep their AFC East title hopes alive, which they are. They took the lead of the AFC East after that win. I mean, it was a dominant performance by Josh Allen and the offense, and the defense came in clutch, helping out the offense time and time again. So what did you think of that game?
What I loved about the game is that, besides the win, but how we won, because we had so many players on COVID lists. We had, people kind of really having to step up around. We saw some players that maybe we haven't seen a ton of really come up big in that game. And it really just reminded about the resilience of this team, and that, with the circumstances, I mean, the guys, had to leave for the game on Christmas Day. We played the next day. Like you said, the pressures of a must-win game for the conference, for our division, and then having all these players out, key players too, not just fringe supporting players, but some key players out. And we saw some great plays, some really aggressive decision-making too from our coach that really resulted in some positives for us. So it was definitely an exciting game. I was happy to get the lead early. It kind of calmed a little bit of my nerves, but then, as the Patriots do, they started creeping back a little bit, and you're like, okay, this cannot be one of those types of games again. So happy when we got that interception and really clinched the game for good. So yeah, it was a very exciting game. And the Patriots, for some reason, have not had that great of a record at home this year, which is unusual for them. So Terry reminded me of that, and I said, well, anything happens, but I was glad to get the W for that. And I saw the fans too that were there after the game back at the airport. It was crazy.
I know. That's nuts. Yeah, it was a really fun game, really exciting game to watch. I didn't think the fans would be at the airport after the game, but that didn't cross my mind. So I'm sure if it did, I would be like, yeah, there could be some fans. And then I saw on social media, there were a good amount of people there the day after Christmas. No big deal, just hanging out and welcoming our team back, of course.
It's a regular season game, but that just shows you how invested this community is in the team.
Yeah, they really are. Did you have a good Christmas weekend as well?
I did. We were much like a lot more low key this year at Christmas. I think just a lot of things going on. And actually it was good. It was good. Cause usually I'm like, the more the merrier, the more, especially during the holidays. But this year we were pretty loose. So one of the things that I told my kids, because usually I buy like a lot of presents. I'm like big on Christmas and presents. And this year I did not. And so I told them that this year Santa's coming all year long.
Oh,
So yeah, so it kind of was yeah, so they were laughing that, Mom, I thought we were supposed to be like less present this year. I'm like, we did, but since that Santa's coming all year long. So you never know, this year Santa's going to show up, maybe in July or maybe in March or whatever. So that was my new theme for this year.
that sounds like best case scenario for anybody. I would love somebody to tell me that Santa's coming all year round. That sounds incredible. But good to hear you had a good Christmas. My Christmas was crazy. COVID kept me from going home. I didn't get it, but some of my family members did. So I just hang out in Buffalo, I was only going to go home for like 34 hours because of course I had to be back here on Christmas night for the game anyway. So it wasn't a big deal, but had a nice, chill, relaxing couple days at home, and now looking forward to the rest of the season. But let's get into some of our healthy habits. Kim, what are some things that you do throughout the year, throughout the season, or maybe in the off season that are part of some of the healthy ways that you choose to live? I know sometimes during the season, it's honestly harder than being in the off season because you actually have time. So maybe off season is a better question here.
Well, I love technology. So I love any new gadget. If it's something new, I love it. And so I generally try to pair my technology love and my healthy habits. So in things like Aura Ring, which I've had for years, but I know it was a top list item for many on this Christmas list. But so trying to track my sleep, trying to track my steps. I mean, I try to do all those things. I've got I don't know if you've ever heard of the Apollo, it helps with stress and anxiety. It's like this, it's like a thing you wear on your wrist. And then when you're looking for either energy or calmness, there's a vibration that goes onto your skin, and it helps kind of with calming things. So I love the technology. I love trying to get the feedback and all the things that I'm doing, and then try to adapt from that. So if I don't have a good sleep, then I'm like, okay, I know the next night I have to go to bed earlier, and try things like that to keep something consistency. I'm really focusing this year though on being consistent with my healthy habits. So Maddy, I know what to do. I know the healthy things I'm supposed to do. I know, what works and all those things, but doing it consistently is the key. And that is what I struggle with every year. So again, new year, going to get back at it, try to stay as consistent as possible with my intermittent fasting. I love doing that. That's so it's easy to do. So to do that, get my 10,000 steps in, and then really tracking my sleep.
Yeah.
So those are my three.
I love that. I guess I'm more old school. I would love to get into more of the technology stuff because that sounds super interesting. But I'm big on trying to eat as healthy as I can and take as many vitamins and supplements as possible. And I try and eat gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free when I can. And so usually I don't do that when I go out to eat, of course, or like during the holiday season when you want some sweets. But normally that's like how I try to eat, and that keeps me pretty healthy. And then on top of that, I'm definitely a gym goer. So I love weightlifting. So I try and do that around 4 to 5 days a week. So that's kind of what I do to stay in shape and keep healthy habits. But it's not easy during the football season. That is for sure. It's so hard when we're busy every single day to like carve out an hour or, meal prep the week of. So yeah, consistency is key here, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't, like our players, they have to perform, and their nutritional habits and their exercise habits are key to their performance. Unfortunately, Maddy, at least for myself, they are not key for our performance on this podcast. So that's why the consistency, I need to have something. So I'm going to try to say, like last year was the wedding. So this year, I know you have the wedding. So
Yeah, right?
your wedding. So I'm sure that is such a motivating factor for you to keep things consistent. Right now, I don't have anything yet. So maybe Super Bowl playoffs. I got to find something to kind of keep up there as my North Star to keep me consistent, and healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk to somebody who is super consistent about his habits. It's Tremaine Edmunds, one of our linebackers for the Buffalo Bills. And if you've seen him in person, you know exactly why he's a healthy dude, because I think he's one of the most athletic looking football players on our roster. So here's our interview with Tremaine. This podcast is presented by Independent Health. What does the red shirt treatment really mean? It means getting answers, getting access to care when you need, and getting more ways to stay active. At Independent Health, we're all about your health. See how at redshirttreatment.com. Tremaine, thanks for taking the time to be on with us. We know as you guys get to the end of the season, there's a lot to do and a lot to prep for, but you guys are coming off of a really exciting win against the Patriots day after Christmas. I think everybody got their Christmas wishes by you guys beating the Patriots and keeping those AFC East title hopes alive if you guys win out the rest of the season. But what do you think has changed in this team since the second half of that Bucs game, or really since the Patriots loss? It seemed like after that game where we know weather was such a big factor, you guys were kind of like, all right, the rest of the season, it's going to be time to get serious. Not like that you guys aren't serious during the season. You completely are, but you guys have been playing at a different level since that loss. So why do you think this team has just been kind of unstoppable as of late?
Honestly, I think, just guys accepting the challenge that's at hand. Obviously we understand the position we're in. Guys have accepted that and guys understand it. And, guys are taking the responsibility and accountability towards that. So it's kind of easy coming to work knowing that, we all here for the same thing. And, obviously we all here to win a championship. And, we have guys that buy in and, not just on the team, but just coaching staff, everybody in the building, from the cafeteria to the training room. And, everybody that buys into the same thing. I mean, it kind of makes coming to work. I mean, not kind of, but it makes it easy. You know what I mean? And coming here, seeing everybody energized, seeing everybody focused, seeing everybody, striving for the same thing and, whatever that may be. So, I think the biggest thing is just being focused and, guys understanding what the mission is, guys understanding things that has to get done. And, it's not going to be perfect every single time, but the biggest thing is just coming, learning from, the things that we may have, wasn't so successful with and, learning from those things and just getting better with it.
Tremaine, the Buffalo community, the Patriots have always been kind of, I guess maybe a thorn in their side, someone that you love to hate. Do you have a team that you just absolutely above all other teams hate to play against or hate to lose to? Across, I know you've only been with the Bills, but even just growing up in a team that you've always just loved to hate. I know I have several of them. Curious to what teams you love to hate.
I think, just the number one, I have to say just is my brother. So I have to say, I guess the Steelers first. Obviously, you know how the bragging rights go in the house. As far as who won this game and who won that game. So, I mean, anytime you get to play against a sibling, I mean, I think it's going to be some type of bragging rights. And being that they have two over there, my oldest brother, well, both of my older brothers are over there. So it's kind of like it's two against one. So, when we do win, when we do beat them, it's always exciting for me. So I think right off the bat, that'll probably be number one. I think number two behind that is anybody. I hate to lose. So, honestly, in this business, no matter who we playing, a loss is a loss. So, it hurts me inside a lot, but definitely the Steelers just because of the brother rivalry.
I totally get that.
Do you have some more? Yeah. Do you have some more brothers coming along where we can even up the score?
Nah, I wish I did. But I'm the youngest. So,
Man.
Unfortunately, it'll kind of always be kind of uneven a little bit unless we get them all on the Bills.
There you go.
I mean, once you guys start having kids, if you do, once you and your brothers, there's going to be I can just see 10 Edmunds in the NFL just because of the way that you guys were able to make it to the NFL. I feel like it's just going to be the same for your kids too.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. It'd definitely be amazing.
Was there a best part about the win on Sunday against the Patriots? Levi Wallace was mic'd up for that game, and the Bills put out an 8-minute video of his mic'd up clips. And it just seems like you guys were so locked in and so calm throughout the whole thing. It really didn't seem like you guys wavered, which doesn't surprise me at all because you are a part of a very mature defense.
Yeah, I think that's the big things. I think, in the course of a game, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. But it's about, staying focused, staying locked in, and being able to move on from a negative play. And obviously being able to move on, even if it's a positive play, because, you have to continue to play each snap, because each player is going to present something different. And, just having the ability to come in and be locked in and, stay focused to, the job at hand. I think that's the number one thing. And, just seeing, the guys, the look they had on their faces, just the mindsets, just from talking to guys, pregame and even during the game. Nobody got down, when the game kind of was in a roller coaster, and, everybody understood that it's a 4-quarter ball game, and, everybody stayed locked in. Everybody understood, the assignment that had to get done. And, we just stayed together as a defense, stayed together as a team, and, found a way, to get a win against a good Balls club.
All right, should we ask you some questions about your health now? So Kim and I, in the beginning of the podcast, we kind of laid out our healthy habits, which we both agreed, like, we're not that consistent because it's tough to be consistent in and out of the football season when your work schedule just goes all over the place, especially being the owner of an NFL and an NHL team. It's probably a lot harder for Kim than it is for me, but you are on a routine once you're in season. You know what, like, Monday through Sunday looks like, when you guys are working out, when you're practicing, when you have to get rehab. So I guess what does your routine look like in season for how you stay in shape? And I know it's different for every single player because of how their body responds to being in week 1 all the way through week 18 now.
Yeah. So, obviously from a nutrition standpoint, making sure that I'm putting the right things into my body. I will be honest, the day after a game, I'm kind of a little, less lenient towards it. I got to have my wings. I'm in Buffalo, so it's only right if I get some wings. So I definitely try to get those in probably Monday, just to kind of beginning of the week to kind of, regroup, get my body back fresh, and, just reward myself. We spend all week, trying to do the right nutrition type of things, do the right things to prepare your body to go out and play, at the highest level on Sunday. So, I reward myself on Monday with some wings or something. But, throughout the week, I try to, get with whether it's Will or, whether it's any of the trainers in there, just try to get myself on a good meal plan as far as, making sure I'm putting the right things in and giving my body, the best opportunity to perform at the highest level. As far as, physical wise, just pushing my body when I come out here at practice, playing practice like it's a game. And, just going fast, playing fast, and, executing like it's Sunday. And, so when Sunday gets here, it's easy for me as far as conditioning wise. And, if I'm having, problems at practice, and then, I go in the training room and try to do something, whether that's maybe the sauna, maybe you just need to sweat a little bit more. Getting the sauna, I'm a big fan of the sauna. That gets my body feeling good. I get in the hot tubs with the Epsom salt, whatever it may be. I just try to get my body, feeling good, and, so I can go out and perform well on Sundays.
Tremaine, what about the cryotherapy? So it sounds like you like warm things. No to the cryo?
To be honest with you, I left that out because I am a fan of the cryo. I'm actually a big fan. I'm actually a big fan of it. And I like to do it like on Saturdays, like the day before the games, because, it has a lot of benefits as far as you can sleep, as far as, healthy sleeping, as far as, just making sure your body is good. So when I wake up in the morning, it's like, man, I feel like a new person. But I like that better than I like the cold tub for the simple reason. You only in there for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds versus cold tub for about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of the cold tub as well. But if I had to choose between the two, definitely cryo, because I like to be in and out. And so, I'm sorry I left that out, but definitely a big fan of that for sure.
Is there a tool is there a tool or something that's your favorite in the complex? Because you guys have all the bells and whistles that you get to work with, from the weight room to the saunas to the cryo. Is there one that's like at the top of your list that you love to use that you guys have?
Maddy, to be honest with you, we have so many resources here and so many things that, we could take advantage of. I would be lying if I just could pinpoint one thing. Just because I mean, it's so many things that like I could do 5 things in, one day if I wanted to, or I can even do more than 5 things. So it's kind of hard for me to do one because it's not like a day I come and just do one thing and leave. Like we have so many things. I can go from one thing, finish with that, go to the next thing. I can give you 3, but if I can give you 3, it'll definitely be the sauna, right? Definitely be the cryo. No, I left that out at first, but it'll definitely be the cryo. And then it'll definitely be the I should know the name of it. We just got them. It's like the blue full body Normatec things.
Ooh.
What are they called? I can't think of the
I
name
don't
of
know
it,
what
but
that's
it's like
called,
it's like
but
a
yeah.
full body. It's like a full body Normatec thing, and I just started doing it a couple weeks ago. I can't even remember the name of it, but
Oh,
every time
that is that where you put on like the pants in a pressurized air?
yeah, the light blue thing,
Yeah, the balancer.
the
Some
Balancer Pro, the Balancer Pro.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big fan. I'm a big fan of that, and ever since we got it here, I mean, I've been on it nonstop, and it's been amazing. So I definitely can't leave that out because I'm a big fan of that for sure.
Well, I am happy to hear that, Tremaine, because I have one of those, and
Oh yeah,
I'm texting Nate, and I'm like, "Hey, Nate," talking to him about it. Him and Joe. I go to these conferences, and I love trying all that new stuff, and so I had gotten one as well, and so I was busy texting Nate and Joe about it several months ago. So, and then he was telling me that they got one as well, except he got his at a discount, and I had to pay full price for mine. So I was mad about that, but I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I love it too. It's so relaxing, and I don't need to, use it as much as you guys do because I don't do the workouts like you guys do. But for me, it's more about relaxing and just kind of getting that excess water out. That's what I
yeah,
love about it.
yeah, for sure. It definitely has a lot of benefits, and I love it ever since I've been using it. Something that I know I'm gonna continue to use, throughout my time here.
Tremaine, is there something that since you've been in the NFL, you've really started to understand the importance of, or something that your body responds to really well, whether that be like food or working out or pre and post game routine for rehab or pre and post routine for practice rehab?
Yeah, I think it's really pre and post game routine as far as what you can do to get your body prepared to go so you can be 100%, so you can be at your best before the game. And then obviously after the game, with the short turnaround that we have, doing all the necessary steps to make sure your body is prepared to go for the upcoming week. And I think, I had a lot of good examples coming in of pros that done things the right way as far as, people that I could look at and, kind of not copy their plan, but kind of mold my plan around. And just seeing, guys that had success in this league, seeing the reason that they had success, seeing that the time they spend in the training room, seeing the time that they spend, in the weight room, and the time that they spend on and off the field as far as things that they need to do to make sure their body is ready to go so they can be at their best. And, I was able to see guys like, Lorenzo Alexander, we're able to see guys like Kyle Williams and, still guys here like Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious, Micah Hyde. I mean, the list goes on from guys that have been in the league for a while that does things the right way. And, you ask the question, how are these guys been in the league so long? You talking about, how many years Zoe played, how many years Kyle played, how many years, Micah and Jordan is still playing now. And it's, it's evidence that, it's, you can easily see it, the work that they put in throughout the week and, how they prepare and how they take care of their body. So I was able to see that at an early stage and kind of develop a plan for myself, develop a routine for myself. And, I feel confident in the routine that I have. And, it's been working, still tweaking it. I think each year is room for tweakness as far as getting it better. And I'm continuing to do that. So, just appreciate those guys for setting a good example for me.
Yeah, I think we could
Well,
all
Tremaine, what about
go ahead.
Yeah, what about off the season though? So what kind of exercise do you do for fun? Do you play basketball, water skiing, little tennis, anything that, exercise? What do you guys do? Maybe a little competition between you and your brothers in the off season?
Yeah, my brothers and myself, we are competitive. So, we were multi-athletes in high school and growing up. So definitely basketball. I mean, I think basketball as far as cardio, running up and down the court, just competing. I mean, whatever it may be, we competing. But I think basketball may be the number one thing, just to get us all together. Whether it's nothing too serious, because obviously you don't want to risk anything, but just running up and down, getting that exercise, and seeing if I still have it on the court, seeing if I can still ball a little bit is always good. And just compete with my brothers, compete with my friends is always good in all season.
I hear your mom
I'm
put you guys through workouts when you were a kid. Do you want to
Oh my
explain what
God.
those look like?
How did I forget that? I'm talking about basketball. How did I forget that? That's probably the number one thing, to be honest with you. Just because, like, man, we had some experiences growing up, I tell you. And if my mom was here, she would tell you as well. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it would be some times when I was like, man, you know what? I started to kind of second guess myself, like, man, I don't know about this track. Like, I don't know if I want to do track. But it's only reason is just because, man, it's just I mean, we worked out so hard and we pushed our bodies to the limits that we're like, sometimes we found out new things about ourselves. Like, man, I didn't know I could do that, but we done it every single time. Like, no matter how much we may have complained, we always pushed ourselves. And I think it made it easier for me because I had, two brothers that pushed me. And, me being the youngest, they would never let me quit. They would never let me, settle with just getting through the workout. It was always pushing yourself to be the best. You know what I mean? We deal with whatever we have to deal with afterwards, as far as, where I should be at. But they never let me slack. They always held me accountable. If I was out there with them, they were always pushing me. And, I'm grateful for them, just for, having that guidance, having that leadership, that I could be able to see somebody that came before me, that done things the right way. And just being able to, kind of follow their footsteps, because obviously they came before me. And seeing the way that they work, like I'm the type of player, like, if I'm seeing somebody working that hard, I'm not gonna get out work. So it only pushes me, to go harder. And I was grateful to have that opportunity as far as my brothers out there. And then my mom, I mean, she's no worse. Like she's on top of us more than a lot of people that I can even say, just because, that's the relationship you have between, obviously a mother and her sons is untouched. But, she never let me slack. Even my dad, like everybody we was all out there, just getting work in. And, that'll obviously always be a stories that I would remember, just because, I mean, the workouts were so hard. Like it's not like we were just out there just running around. Like the workouts were hard. And it like made you question things sometimes. Like, hold on, I play football. I don't run track. I play football. Like those track workouts is a little different. But I mean, it prepared my body so well as far as coming on the football field, because things were kind of easy as far as, conditioning wise, because track conditioning, I think anybody that ran track would be able to tell you, like, that condition is a little different than football, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So just being able to do that and translating the things that I learned on the track to the field, I mean, it helped me out my whole life, and definitely grateful for that. So I know I went on a rant, but those track stories are crazy, and then just memories started to pop up in my head.
No, I like it. What is your mom? Okay, so you brought up your mom and the workouts that she put you guys through. What has she meant to your career and where you've gotten to get to now that you've been in the NFL for a few years now? It seems like she's very important to you. And if you see any videos with her, like I've seen a couple, she just seems like a very strong person, a very strong character who is like just has a great personality and outlook on life.
Yeah, definitely. I think anybody that meets my family, obviously the first impression you'll get is everybody in my family are hard workers. Everybody in my family, are leaders, as far as, they want to make sure people understand, the right way to do things. And I think with my mom, I mean, she's still operating like she's my age, to be honest with you. Like anytime we in the off season trying to work out now, she's right beside us trying to run still. And I'm like, Mom, we got this. Let us handle this. You know what I mean? You had your time. I appreciate the support, but we got this. But that's just the love she had for it, the passion she had for it. Obviously, my mom, she was an athlete as well. She ran track. So, anytime she, gets that opportunity to come out and work with us. I think she kind of goes back in her days, and, she's reminiscing about being on the track and just competing. And, she and my dad, they both just want the best for us. So, we get challenged, anytime we work out with them, they challenge us, push us to another level. And, obviously we wouldn't be here today, if it wasn't for them, because it's, growing up, obviously as kids, sometimes you just don't feel like doing stuff, you know what I mean? And, I think that's okay for all of us to say, because everybody was kids once, and all we cared about sometimes was just playing, going outside and playing with our friends. But obviously it was, business things that need to be done as far as, for your future, the things that you couldn't see then that my parents saw. So anytime we had that opportunity to work out, they pushed us, and not just us. Like if it was any friends around, we called them up. My parents called them up like, hey, the boys going out to work out. Y'all want to come? It was always open arms for everybody. Like it wasn't just us. Like if it was anybody around and maybe we didn't know him, we were still like, hey, we can come over here and get some work in. If we was out of town, we would just stop at random places, like stop at random gyms and, stop at random hills. We would get outside and, we would run hills. I remember one time we took a trip to New York City, and this is actually a crazy story. I'm sorry, I'm going on the rant, but
No, I like this.
So we took a trip to New York City, and something that happened like with our hotel as far as we couldn't check in until a certain time. So, we was all trying to figure out, we got our luggage in the car. We was all trying to figure out what we're going to do. Now I was young at the time. Now I'm probably middle school or something like that. And, so my mom had the idea. She asked like, do y'all have your workout stuff? Like, yeah, it's in my bag. You know what I mean? It's deep in my bag. We trying to come up with stuff like we in New York City, so we want to go touring. We want to go walk around, but we was like, yeah, it's in our bag. So she say, all right, let's go, put it on. It's time to work. So, while we waiting to check into our hotel, we're literally like, jogging around New York City, like just, running blocks, just getting exercise and, just doing the necessary things as far as fitness wise and, just being able to, run around and sweat a little bit and just get into it. That's just the competitiveness, the drive my mom has and just my whole family have, because nobody complained. I mean, we all changed up and we were running for a nice little minute. She said we was gonna run for a little while, but we ended up running for a while, like a long time. But it was fun. I mean, those are the type of things you remember when you get, now. And when you get older, you can tell your kids like, this is the type of things that this is what it takes. You know what I mean? It's not gonna come easy. And, like I said, I'm forever grateful for it.
Yeah, and they're so proud of you. They're so proud of you, Tremaine. I see them in the hotel sometimes and during the away games, and they're just, they've got their Edmunds jersey on, and they're just talking to every Bills fan, possible, and they're just so proud of you and of, obviously your other brothers. But when they come to your game, it's they're always talking you up. So it's always nice to see them, especially on the road.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it sounds like your mom needs to be our personal trainers. Everybody's personal trainer.
So we need, Maddy. We need to hire his mom. Yeah.
Tell you one thing, she'll have a hard hat on, and all I would say is make sure you're ready for it.
I love that. Well, Tremaine, thanks for coming on and talking to us just about the healthy lifestyle that you live every single day and that your mom has helped instill in you as a person and has helped you translate to the NFL easier than probably a lot of other people. Thanks to all those workouts that she put you guys through.
Yeah, for sure. I thank you all for having me too.
Bill's Pod Squad is presented by Independent Health, bringing healthy to you, providing fun, healthy ways to run, walk, bike, eat, and more at home and across Western New York. Visit independenthealth.com/events to learn more. Okay, Kim, it's time to look ahead. We've got a Week 17 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. 2 home games to end the regular season, which is always exciting to not have to travel. I mean, hopefully we don't have to travel here for a long time. That would be best case scenario. So really fingers crossed that happens. But game against the Falcons, there is a chance that the Bills do clinch the playoffs this week. They have to win and some other things have to happen as well. But I'm feeling good about this matchup. Really, since the second half of that Tampa Bay Bucs game, this team has seemed like they've had a different sense of motivation and momentum going on. So I just really hope it can continue. And we've got guys healthy now, so that's good too.
Yeah, and with the 2 games left, there really isn't a whole lot of time left to pace yourself. Like this is, these are the games that really matter. And, where the whole league has gone, there's been some crazy games, some losses, some wins that were unexpected that have shifted people from in the playoffs out back in, things like that. So these last 2 games are going to be so key across the whole league for us and where we end up standing at the end of the regular season. I don't know much about Atlanta. I feel like I have not really heard about them all season long, or even last year, or actually maybe the last couple of years. So this one here, I am not really in tune to what we should be expecting from Atlanta at this game. But as you said, Maggie, our guys have kind of really stepped it up, and these last 2 games are going to be key.
All right, so the next time we come on next week, it'll be the New Year's. So any different New Year's resolutions for you? I know we talked about consistency in the beginning of the episode and some of our healthy habits that we outlined, but anything else that you're looking to, new year, new me with?
Oh my goodness. I think I always love to learn something new. I don't know yet what that's going to be, but I would love to learn something new. And I think it's going to have something to do with, I've really been getting into, I don't know if you want to call it affirmation, if you want to call it meditation, hypnosis, like all those things. So something, I don't know, I want to learn something new and try something I haven't really done much of, and do it consistently.
I like that. One of the other things that I forgot to mention, I got into meditation a little bit this year, and I think it's been super helpful just to me being calm and less stressed out about things and less anxious about things. So I'd love to get more into meditation too, like you said. And I think it's usually the same every year for me, is read more books. I'm not the best about reading, but I always want to read more books. So maybe this year I'll actually try. And I always say I'm going to, but I only usually pick up a couple books a year. So hopefully I can read more and just be a good friend to people and be a good person to people. And hopefully we can be out of the pandemic this year, right? That's a New Year's resolution for all of us.
I think I said that last year too, and look where we are. But as a lot of the medical staff says, this strain is getting weaker and weaker. So to your point, hopefully this time next year, we are all back in our studios doing a podcast. We're all back together as one organization, where there's not this football is in the building and everyone has to be out. So I'm looking forward to getting back together again. And I know I said that last year, but
right?
This time I really mean it.
Same. I don't want COVID to be a thing by the time my wedding comes, which is in July. So hurry up.
What are you doing for New Year's?
Wrapped up. New Year's.
Yeah, what are you doing for New Year's?
I think just keeping it small. Might do something with my fiance. I don't know. Watch some shows. My other New Year's resolution is to not catch this new variant. So before football season ends. So trying to lay low until the end of football season, which hopefully that goes until mid-February. But Kim, do you have any plans?
Well, I am here up at our lake house, which is in the middle of nowhere. When I say middle of nowhere, I really mean it's 3,000 acres of nothing. So I don't think the COVID is here at all. And if it did, I'm not going to be able to find it in the woods. So I think I am pretty good safe. So same here, going to just we got a little bit of snow here. Nice. So going to do some little snowmobiling and maybe some nice cold walks. And hopefully, like you said, not catch COVID and just kind of lay low this year.
I like it. That sounds relaxing and the perfect way to enter the new year. But we want to thank everybody for listening into this week's episode. We hope you all have a wonderful New Year's, and we will see you guys on the other side in 2022.